What if the next coin collectors are searching for is already sitting in your pocket, and you've never looked at it twice? Welcome back to Change Your Life. Today, we're uncovering 3 Jefferson Nickels that continue to spark interest among collectors. 2006 P. Jefferson Nickel. 2017 P. Jefferson Nickel. 2001 D. Jefferson Nickel. Featuring the westward journey/return to Monticello design and a durable copper-nickel composition, these nickels may seem ordinary, but collectors often examine them for mint errors, die varieties, strike quality, and overlooked details that can make certain examples especially interesting. Some of the most exciting discoveries begin with a coin that looks completely ordinary. Stay until the end, the final nickel has a surprising detail that many people miss. Now, let's reveal coin number 1. What if the most interesting coin in your pocket wasn't silver or gold, but an ordinary-looking 2006 Jefferson Nickel? At first glance, this 5-cent coin seems completely ordinary. Its surface is worn from years of circulation, the edges have softened through countless transactions, and its once bright finish has faded into a dull gray tone. Most people would spend it without a second thought. But collectors know that even modern Jefferson Nickels deserve a careful inspection because unexpected mint-made varieties and production errors can sometimes transform an everyday coin into something far more collectible. The 2006 Jefferson Nickel with the Philadelphia P mint mark marks an important point in the history of America's 5-cent coin. After the popular westward journey design changes of 2004 and 2005, the United States Mint returned to the classic image of Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's historic Virginia home. However, the return came with a completely redesigned obverse portrait of Jefferson, giving the 2006 nickel a fresh appearance while honoring the long tradition of the series. The obverse features a modern forward-facing profile of Thomas Jefferson, designed by Jamie Franke. Unlike earlier Jefferson Nickels, this portrait presents a more lifelike image based on historical artwork. The inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 2006 surround the portrait, while the small P mint mark confirms that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Turning the coin over reveals the detailed image of Monticello, Jefferson's famous estate. The building's sharp architectural lines, balanced proportions, and intricate windows make the reverse especially interesting to collectors. Under magnification, specialists carefully inspect the steps, columns, lettering, and surrounding fields for evidence of die cracks, doubled features, filled dies, or strike irregularities that occurred during production. The 2006 Jefferson Nickel is struck from a 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy, a composition that has been used for circulation nickels in the United States for many decades. Because these coins circulate heavily, most surviving examples display scratches, dull surfaces, and ordinary wear. Yet experienced collectors understand that heavy circulation does not necessarily eliminate collector interest. A genuine mint-made error can remain valuable even on a well-used coin. Although hundreds of millions of 2006 Philadelphia nickels were produced, only a tiny fraction display significant production anomalies. Error collectors continue searching through bankrolls, pocket change, and old collections looking for unusual strike characteristics, die varieties, or other authentic mint-made features that distinguish one coin from millions of ordinary examples. Most 2006 Jefferson Nickels remain worth only 5 cents, but professionally authenticated mint errors and major die varieties can attract considerably stronger collector interest. That possibility is exactly why experienced numismatists recommend examining every Jefferson nickel before spending it. Sometimes, the smallest detail is the one that tells the most remarkable story. One of the reasons collectors continue searching through 2006 Jefferson Nickels is that even modern coins can leave the United States Mint with unexpected production errors. Every day, high-speed presses strike thousands of nickels, and although quality control is extremely strict, a small number of coins occasionally escape with genuine mint-made abnormalities. These unusual pieces are the ones that attract the greatest attention from error collectors. Among the features specialists hope to discover are doubled dies, die cracks, struck through errors, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, lamination flaws, and die chips. While these varieties are uncommon, they demonstrate that no minting process is completely perfect. When one of these errors is authenticated, it immediately becomes far more interesting than an ordinary circulation coin. The return of the Monticello reverse in 2006 also provides collectors with numerous areas to inspect under magnification. The building's windows, columns, dome, and famous front steps often reveal tiny strike differences or die deterioration. Even small irregularities can become valuable research pieces when they represent genuine production varieties rather than post-mint damage. The Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of Jefferson Nickels during 2006, meaning that most examples remain common. However, rarity in numismatics is not determined only by mintage figures. It is determined by how many coins survive with unusual characteristics that collectors actively seek. A high mintage coin with a dramatic mint error can be significantly scarcer than an older coin produced in much smaller numbers. The heavily circulated condition of many surviving examples tells its own story. This nickel may have passed through grocery stores, restaurants, vending machines, parking meters, and cash registers across the United States before someone finally noticed something unusual about it. Every scratch and worn edge reflects years of real-world use, making each coin a small piece of American history. Professional grading services play an essential role in today's collector market. Before assigning premium value, experts carefully examine the coin's strike quality, metal composition, surface characteristics, and overall authenticity. Their evaluation helps distinguish genuine mint-made errors from damage caused after the coin entered circulation. It is important to remember that the vast majority of 2006 Jefferson Nickels are worth only 5 cents. Premium values are generally associated with professionally authenticated mint errors, major die varieties, or exceptionally preserved examples. Careful examination and expert authentication remain the keys to identifying truly collectible pieces. That is why experienced collectors never overlook an ordinary-looking Jefferson nickel. Hidden within a heavily circulated 5-cent coin could be a rare production mistake that most people would never notice, but one that tells a fascinating story about the minting process and continues to capture the attention of collectors today. The second coin in today's countdown is the 2017 Jefferson Nickel with the Philadelphia P Mint mark, a coin that surprised many collectors for one simple reason. For decades, Philadelphia nickels were produced without a mint mark. But in 2017, to celebrate the 225th anniversary of the United States Mint, the Philadelphia Mint temporarily added a P Mint mark to circulating Jefferson Nickels. That small letter instantly made the 2017 issue one of the most talked about modern nickels in America. At first glance, a circulated 2017 Jefferson Nickel appears completely ordinary. The coin may be scratched, dull, and covered with years of everyday wear. It may have traveled through supermarkets, vending machines, restaurants, and convenience stores before finally ending up in a coin collection. While millions of people ignore these nickels every day, collectors often pause to inspect them much more carefully. The obverse features the modern portrait of Thomas Jefferson, designed by Jamie Franke. Beside the portrait sits the historic P Mint mark, a detail that immediately separates this coin from nearly every other modern Philadelphia Jefferson nickel. Although the mint mark itself does not automatically make the coin rare, it gives the 2017 issue a unique place in the history of the Jefferson Nickel series. The reverse displays Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia estate, rendered with impressive architectural detail. Collectors study the windows, columns, steps, lettering, and surrounding fields under magnification, searching for die cracks, doubled features, strike weakness, or other genuine mint-made varieties. Even the smallest production difference can attract attention when professionally authenticated. Like other modern Jefferson nickels, the 2017 issue is struck from a 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy. This durable composition allows the coin to withstand years of circulation, but it also means that most surviving examples show ordinary signs of wear. Scratches, dull luster, and softened details are common, making truly exceptional examples much harder to locate. Although hundreds of millions of 2017 Jefferson nickels were produced, only a tiny number display significant mint-made errors or unusual production characteristics. That is why collectors continue searching through rolls of nickels and pocket change, hoping to discover an overlooked variety that escaped the mint's quality control process. For most people, a 2017 Jefferson nickel is simply worth 5 cents. But for collectors, its special Philadelphia Mint mark, historical significance, and the possibility of genuine mint errors make it one of the most interesting modern nickels to examine. Sometimes, one small letter is enough to create an entirely new chapter in the history of American coinage. The excitement surrounding the 2017 Jefferson Nickel extends far beyond its temporary Philadelphia mint mark. Collectors understand that any coin produced during a special commemorative period deserves careful attention because unusual production varieties sometimes emerge long after the coins enter circulation. That possibility keeps interest in the 2017 issue strong among modern coin enthusiasts. At the United States Mint, every Jefferson nickel is struck under tremendous pressure using hardened steel dies. Although the mint follows strict quality control standards, no manufacturing process is completely perfect. On rare occasions, a coin leaves the presses with a genuine mint-made error, creating a collectible that differs from the millions of normal examples. Error collectors search for features such as doubled dies, die cracks, die chips, struck-through errors, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and other production anomalies. These errors are uncommon, but when they are professionally authenticated, they become far more desirable than ordinary circulation coins. The rarity of genuine mint mistakes, not simply the date, is what drives collector interest. The Monticello reverse also offers numerous areas for detailed inspection. Specialists closely examine the building's windows, columns, dome, front steps, and lettering under magnification. Tiny differences in strike quality or die condition can reveal production characteristics that are invisible during an ordinary glance but fascinating to experienced numismatists. Another reason the 2017 nickel remains popular is its unique historical role. It stands as the first circulating Jefferson nickel from the Philadelphia Mint in decades to carry a P mint mark, making it instantly recognizable within the series. Even collectors who focus only on date and mint mark sets usually make sure this issue is included in their collections. Most surviving examples are heavily circulated, reflecting years of everyday use. These nickels have traveled through stores, banks, vending machines, and cash registers across the United States. Their worn appearance tells the story of a coin that fulfilled its original purpose before eventually finding its way into the hands of collectors. It is important to remember that most 2017 Jefferson nickels are worth only 5 cents. Higher values are generally associated with professionally authenticated mint errors, significant die varieties, or coins preserved in exceptional condition. Careful identification is always more important than assumptions based on appearance alone. Even so, the search continues because collectors know that extraordinary discoveries sometimes come from the most ordinary-looking coins. A single mint-made variety hidden within a worn 2017 Jefferson nickel could become the next exciting addition to a collection and another reminder that remarkable stories can begin with just 5 cents. The final coin in today's countdown is the 2001 Jefferson Nickel with the Denver D Mint mark, a coin that millions of Americans have used without ever imagining it could attract the attention of collectors. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary 5-cent piece. The surfaces are dull from years of circulation, the edges show honest wear, and the once sharp details have softened after countless trips through pockets, cash registers, vending machines, and coin jars. Yet experienced collectors know that even common-looking nickels deserve a closer examination. The 2001 Jefferson Nickel was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest coin-producing facilities in the United States. During the early 2000s, the Mint produced hundreds of millions of Jefferson Nickels to meet the country's everyday demand for circulation coinage. Because of those high production numbers, most examples remain common today. However, collectors understand that rarity is not always about mintage. It often comes from unusual production characteristics that affect only a tiny number of coins. The obverse features the familiar left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, based on the long-running design created by Felix Schlag. Above the portrait appears the word Liberty, while In God We Trust is positioned along the left side. Just beside the date sits the small D Mint mark, identifying the coin as a Denver Mint issue. Turning the coin over reveals the classic image of Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia home. This reverse design remained one of the most recognizable features of the Jefferson Nickel series for decades. Collectors carefully examine the building's columns, dome, windows, steps, lettering, and surrounding fields under magnification, searching for signs of doubled dies, die cracks, strike weakness, or other genuine mint-made varieties. Like most modern Jefferson Nickels, the 2001 D issue is struck from a 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy. This durable composition allows the coin to withstand years of circulation, which explains why many surviving examples display scratches, worn high points, and faded luster. While ordinary wear is expected, genuine mint errors remain much scarcer and continue to attract strong interest within the collecting community. One of the most exciting aspects of the 2001 Jefferson Nickel is that it reminds collectors never to judge a coin by its appearance alone. A heavily circulated nickel may still conceal a fascinating mint-made feature that went unnoticed for years. That possibility keeps collectors searching through bankrolls, inherited collections, and everyday pocket change, hoping to uncover an overlooked variety. Although the vast majority of 2001 Jefferson Nickels are worth only 5 cents, professionally authenticated mint errors, significant die varieties, and exceptionally preserved examples can generate much stronger collector demand. Sometimes, an ordinary-looking nickel carries a story far more valuable than its face value suggests. One of the biggest reasons collectors continue examining the 2001 Jefferson Nickel is the possibility of discovering genuine mint-made errors that escaped inspection during production. Every nickel begins as a carefully prepared blank planchet before being struck under enormous pressure. Although the United States Mint maintains exceptionally high manufacturing standards, occasional mistakes still occur, creating coins that stand apart from ordinary circulation pieces. Collectors look for a wide range of production anomalies, including doubled dies, die cracks, die chips, struck-through errors, clipped planchets, lamination flaws, and off-center strikes. While these errors are uncommon, they are well documented within the hobby and continue to attract attention whenever authenticated examples appear. Even a subtle mint-made variety can become an exciting discovery for specialists who study Jefferson Nickels. The reverse design of Monticello provides numerous locations where these varieties may appear. Experts often inspect the building's steps, columns, windows, dome, and surrounding lettering under magnification. Tiny die imperfections can sometimes create unusual details that are impossible to notice with the naked eye but become important once properly identified and verified. Another factor that keeps interest in the 2001 issue alive is its role within one of America's longest-running coin series. Jefferson Nickels have circulated continuously since 1938, making them familiar to nearly every American. Because millions remain in circulation, collectors can still search through everyday change, bankrolls, and old family collections without purchasing expensive coins at auction. Most surviving 2001 nickels are heavily circulated, reflecting years of use in restaurants, grocery stores, parking meters, vending machines, and businesses across the country. Their worn appearance tells the story of a coin that fulfilled its purpose in everyday commerce before eventually finding its way into a collector's hands. For many numismatists, that history is part of the coin's appeal. Professional grading services remain essential whenever a potentially valuable error is discovered. Specialists examine the coin's surfaces, strike quality, metal composition, and overall characteristics to determine whether the unusual feature originated during minting or resulted from post-mint damage. Accurate authentication protects both collectors and buyers. It is important to remember that most 2001 Jefferson Nickels are worth only their 5-cent face value. Additional value is generally associated with professionally authenticated mint errors, significant die varieties, or coins preserved in outstanding condition. Careful identification is always the key to separating an ordinary nickel from a truly collectible example. That is why experienced collectors never ignore a worn Jefferson nickel. Hidden among millions of ordinary 5-cent coins could be a genuine mint-made variety waiting to be discovered. Sometimes, the next remarkable addition to a collection is already sitting quietly in a handful of everyday pocket change.